Hello, I'm just going to walk through my tattoos, explain who did them, if they mean anything to me, or like how I went about choosing that design. And hopefully it'll answer a few questions that anyone looking to get their first tattoo might have. Let's get started. Yeah. Okay, so I first started getting tattooed at around the age of 20, back in 2012. My fiance was living in London at the time, and obviously there's 1,000,001 artists in London, and we were both into tattoos, so that's kind of where the journey began. My first piece was by a guy called Javi at a studio called Extreme Needle. It's around the Leicester Square area. He charged £280. It's about palm size. It's the shark here. Although I went for a more traditional style after this tattoo, I still love it. It was really, really well done, and it's kind of like a neo-traditional vibe. Found the design on Tumblr, kept going back to it week after week to check that I still liked it, and yeah, booked it in and went ahead with it. I'm gonna leave a card to everyone's Instagram, so go and check them out. The next tattoo I got was an eagle holding the world with flames coming off of it. It was by a guy called Mil Martinez in a shop called 13 Diamonds. It's actually not too far from Extreme Needle. It's the same sort of area, Leicester Square, like Soho sort of direction. It was this piece here, just this one. I think this was around 280 as well, but obviously all the artists in London prices differ. This was like quite sentimental because it's like the first traditional tattoo I got. When I got the shark, I wasn't really too sure on like the style I wanted to go for my whole arm. But yeah, after flicking through some of Mil's flash work, I just fell in love with traditional and just decided that was the way I wanted to go. And that's my first piece of advice for someone looking to get tattooed. If you know you're gonna get like a few or it's gonna turn into a collection, I'd always advise to stick to one style. So like traditional, neo-traditional, tribal if you're into that. But yeah, just make sure it's like consistent, because later on when it starts to look like one piece, yeah, you might regret getting a bit of like dot work with like some new school stuff. They just might not look that good together, so bear that in mind when you're planning. What did I get next? The next tattoo I got was probably the Lighthouse, if I'm not mistaken. This was Mil Martinez as well. I'd always envisaged having some sort of like lighthouse and then a clipper ship on the other arm, like on the forearm, so that's kind of how that ended up happening. It's super traditional, like really basic colours, and yeah, the light fades every few years because it was used with like an orange ink, and every time the sun hits it in the summer it just like dies a little bit more, and every so often I get someone to touch it up if they don't mind. But yeah, it's no biggie. I think next I might have got this skull and snake from Mil Martinez again. He does super big pieces. Every time I go to a tattoo shop and they like want to see what I've got already, they always comment about how big they are, but I think they're pretty rad. Like he drew the eagle up on like an A3 sheet, so that's how I first saw it, like absolutely massive, so it kind of made sense for it to be huge. So. But yeah, this is the next piece. The colours have stayed really nice because it's like on the inside of my arm. None of the tattoos on my right arm actually mean anything, they're just like really nice pieces of traditional art that I wanted on me forever. Next up, I might have got the elbow done. It's a knife for a rose. This is probably one of the most painful tattoos I've got to date. There's nothing there, it's just like bone and skin, so it's like pretty savage. But I love this tattoo so much actually. Like I think the placement was absolutely perfect, and yeah, Mil just nailed it as always. What did I get next? I might have got this Friday the 13th next, to be honest. It slots in the timeline somewhere around there. It's this tiny little hourglass. If you're watching this video, you might know about them already, but every Friday the 13th, some tattoo shops do some Friday the 13th flash where they draw a bunch of little tattoos for really cheap. This shop actually did them for £13, I believe. I mean, it's super small. I mean, that's it's like thumb size, but it's a really good chance for people to see how like a tattoo feels and like, yeah, sort of like get into it, I guess. Usually just good for like fillers as well. If you've already got loads of big pieces and you need some like little gaps filling, there's usually like loads of designs to choose from, so yeah, definitely check that out if you're looking. Next was probably the horseshoe that says good luck. I don't know if the camera can pick any of these up, but it's this one. Mill did that as well. Then I think started the left arm maybe. Might have been before, it's a bit ropey, but yeah, you get the gist. I got Matt Cooley before Gray. I got the girl, I think, first. It's like a Native American. This was done by a guy called Matt Cooley, who works in Rain City in Manchester. He was doing a guest spot in Brighton. Definitely one of my favourite pieces. I got him to add the text "Safe in Your Skin" underneath. I was massively into a band called Title Fight at the time. I still am, to be fair. Their Shed album really resonated with me quite a lot. And yeah, it was just a great album for that time in my life. And I don't think I'll ever forget it, but I definitely won't now. After this, my memory's a bit foggy. I'm not even sure if this is the correct order, but yeah, I tried. I think after this, I got the top of my arm, the spider's web with the spider in it, by George Bonner, who was in Croydon at the time. He used to be Mill's apprentice, which is how I know him. And then he got really, really good really quickly. And the shop that they were both in closed, unfortunately. And George went on to work in like other shops around London. He's currently in The Circle, which you should definitely go and check out. George's work's like incredible. Probably one of my favourite artists in London at the moment. But yeah, I got that. And then I think I came back to him at some point and I got the fillers on the back of my arm. So it's this love, the hand, and I also got this rose. They were around the same time, like within 6 months of each other, I'm pretty sure. At some point we drove to Bath to do another Friday the 13th, which was this. I'm not gonna lie, the guy did a pretty terrible job of it. I mean, it was Friday the 13th, so it was dirt cheap anyway, but I think he was the apprentice and he just went a bit too deep and it just didn't heal very well. But I've recently had this touched up, so I'll move on to that in a bit. And then after this, I discovered a guy on Instagram called Oliver Back. He was doing some really cool stuff, like quite, like, I don't want to say goofy, but like almost like cartoony, but still traditional. It was just like a really cool vibe. I can't remember if I went there to get tattooed by George. George Bonner guested there at some point, and I got my thigh done. I'll have to insert a clip of that because I can't be asked to get naked now. But it's like a big piece that he painted originally, and it's a tiger fighting a snake. It might actually be my favourite tattoo I've got so far. It's just so well done, and like the colours are great. It's just a sick tattoo. Then after I came back to Ollie, I can't remember if I went to Ollie before I got tattooed by George or not. Not that it really matters, but yeah, anyway. I think I got the gorilla first. This is what I was saying about Ollie's work. It's like, you can tell he did it. Super bold lines and like, just really cool imagery. He does like really sick animals and heads. And then I went back to him after that and got this, which was actually not like the usual stuff he does. He was like still stoked to do it, so I came in with like old flash. I can't remember where this flash is from, but I found it somewhere. After that, I believe I got the scorpion. The placement's really cool. Like, he literally looks like he's crawling down my arm, which is kind of sick. At some point, me and Sanna were visiting Finland. We were coming back every year to see our family, and we got tattooed at a place called Legacy Tattoo in Helsinki. And a guy there called Ben Bramsell tattooed me, who's actually an English guy from Essex, which was quite funny. But he did this tomahawk on me. I think, I'm not sure when, but at some point, a guy called Greyhale, who's from Rain City, the same place as Matt Cooley, he's guested in Brighton as well, and he did this really sick clipper ship. Just like to point out, most of the stuff on my arms is like from people's flash. Like, I rarely have like a super intricate idea. Most of the time it's like art they've drawn and I love it and I want to get it. So yeah, that's kind of how it usually happens. He'd drawn this clipper ship and I always wanted a clipper ship on this arm. and this was just like ridiculous. It was like the coolest one I'd seen. I think it was just over a year ago. I decided I really wanted a memorial tattoo for my granddad. And this was the first time I'd like properly sat and planned a tattoo almost, because I didn't want to have like some shitty run-of-the-mill memorial. Like, I was super close with my granddad and I just wanted to do like our relationship justice in the form of a tattoo, if that makes sense. So yeah, I came up with like the idea of having the suspension bridge in Bristol and a balloon, because I was born in Bristol. He's from Bristol, he's lived there his whole life. Every year when I was younger, we used to go to the Bristol Balloon Fiesta. He'd drive me around Bristol and we'd like chase the balloons and like see where they land and stuff, and it was just like a really important memory to me, and I just wanted to like keep it on me forever. So yeah, that was kind of the concept, and I didn't know like who to take it to, because it was kind of like, I felt like it wasn't standard traditional and I wasn't too sure like who could do it. But I sent an email to Ollie with like some like references of like the suspension bridge and balloons and stuff, and I was like, this is kind of what I have in mind, like, do you think you can make it work and stuff? And yeah, he absolutely nailed it. So yeah, we had like the suspension bridge, the balloon, and it's just like still really traditional, but it managed to hold every element that I wanted in it, which is like super cool. So yeah, but then I got a piece on my right calf. Ollie had just been travelling around Asia and stuff, so he had like a fresh book of Flash with loads of like cultural references and stuff. The Egyptian head just really stuck out to me and I thought it was a really cool piece, so yeah, I went with that. And then the latest tattoos, were just before I left the UK to move to Finland. I didn't want to come to Finland with an unfinished arm because I wasn't sure when I'd next get tattooed, so I was just kind of scared, and I was like, just wanted to get the right arm finished, because it's just been like sort of unfinished for ages, and I was like, nah, let's just do it. So I got a couple fillers done basically. Ollie kind of fixed up the shitty Friday the 13th I got originally, and I said it would be cool if we had it instead of just an arrowhead, we had it like as an actual like snapped arrow. So Ollie drew in this like sick like rest of the arrow and then had it like broken, and then just like made this a bit bigger to like fit the proportions and stuff. But yeah, I actually really like it now. He like saved a shit tattoo. And then I got this mushroom at the same time and this little flower. They were literally just gap fillers, but yeah, they were like, we were trying to see what would fit and stuff, and these two came out really nice. So yeah, but that was the last time I've been tattooed. I'll put up a few tattoo artists that I really want to get tattooed by, and you can check out their Instagrams and stuff. Feel free to send me any questions about whatever. I'm no tattoo guru, but like, I've been getting tattooed for the last 6 years, so like, I know a bit, I guess. Maybe enough to help out, so yeah, just fling me any questions like in the comments or on my Twitter or whatever. And yeah, if you like this video, leave a like. So yeah, thanks for watching.